Hi everybody, this is Tom from Blueprint, and welcome to our follow-up stream on LotWorks Account. The system's been active now for a month and a little bit, and we just want to check in with everyone to see how things are going, to cover some of the most commonly asked questions, and go over some of the changes that have been released since the initial launch of LotWorks Account. The first thing I want to highlight is that if you do go to the Help Center, so just support.lotworks.ca, you'll see the section here for LotWorks Account. And this will cover off pretty much the main questions that have been coming up in terms of the system and how to use it. So what is LotWorks Account? We'll go over some of the general information about the system. So essentially going over what it is, how it works, and I'll cover that in a little brief right now as well. So what you're doing with the LotWorks Account system is that you're creating a single access point that provides you access to all of your user profiles. You can get more information about user profiles here. All of your user profiles that you have access to within your different LotWorks systems. So that includes LotWorks Develop, LotWorks Maps, and LotWorks Land, and it provides you access to all of them in a single dashboard view. So great for that single login. You don't have to really kind of keep logging out, logging in, logging out, logging in to access everything. You have it all accessible there in one single view. So it's great for both builders and developers to kind of quickly switch between roles, systems, and markets, and LotWorks products as well. In terms of the dashboard and user controls, when you first log in, you'll see that available dashboard list that shows you all of your dashboards that you can access. It's great to kind of be able to quickly switch between them. If you do see a message that says no available dashboards, should look something like this. It just means that the email address that you're using is not currently associated with any systems. So if you actually go to LotWorks Account, you'll see that that's your email address that you're using in the top left. If you see no available dashboards, that email address is not actually associated with any emails. To resolve that, please just contact your LAN developer. One of the great things we instituted based on your feedback was just an easy way for LAN developers to update email addresses. That pulls right in through to LotWorks Account now, and so emails can be directly updated to kind of facilitate easy updates. So yeah, there are a bunch of reasons why email addresses could be different. You could be part of a builder group. Very commonly, I think there was New Vista and Augusta Homes was one of them, where builders may have had different email addresses but been the same user. If an email address changes, kind of westcreekdevelopments.com to wcdev, if it's a shared email address, which are still okay to use, you can still use group and shared email addresses. We do have an article on that as well, but that might be why as well you no longer have access if you're using your personal email address versus the group email address. And if it was differently spelled. So if you had T. Novachinsky, Tom.Novachinsky, Tommy Nova at, like all these different spellings, they could all point to your same email address. So all those emails are funneling into the same place, but it does depend on which email address is being used in the different LotWorks systems. You need to make sure to get access, you need to have that correct email address set up in the different systems. So again, to fix that, to update that, all you have to do is contact your LAN developer, and they'll be able to set you up with access. So very quick resolution there. Another question we had was, hey, I've signed up for LotWorks account, but I didn't get that verification email. It does happen on occasion, especially if there were, during the initial rollout, we had situations where kind of an entire office was signing up at once, and the emails might have been flagged as spam, or they just kind of weren't all getting through. One quick workaround, well, actually the very first thing you should do is try that resend email button. If you don't get a email, a verification email, pretty much within a minute or 2 minutes. If that doesn't work, please check your spam or kind of a personal or flagged inbox or quarantine. But there's also a very quick workaround if that verification email doesn't come through. And that's to follow the recover password step. So all you do is enter your email address, and then there's going to be a recover password button, or sorry, a trouble signing in link. It's right below the password field. If you click that, it's going to open up this recover password card. All you have to do is click send, and it's going to send you a password recovery email. Now that does also count for the verification step. So what's going to happen is that if you recover your password, it's going to count as that verification step and get you right through the dashboard as well. So if you don't get that verification email, try the recover password, and that should get you through to your dashboard list view. On the topic of shared and group accounts, now they are still, you can still absolutely use them. There really is no issue there, especially if it's a, for instance, kind of a design team that it's a single design team within a single builder, and you're all kind of logging in to submit designs under that single account. Not a problem. It's actually probably an easy way for you guys to kind of share a single login and see all your dashboards within that single login. It is still preferable to have your own account. Now there's a number of reasons for that. One is that LotWorks does track kind of who did what and when they did it in the lot event histories. So it's great for land developers and builders to know kind of what actions were taken and by whom. Also, notification emails go out based on those actions. So when you take those actions, they'll send you a notification email to let you know what's going on. That is one of the reasons why group accounts were used as well. But now with the personal accounts, it does the same, if not better. In addition to accurate tracking of events, if a user is no longer active with that company, it's very easy for the land developer to disable that user. Less so if it's a shared account. If it's a shared account, then it's a responsibility of the builder on their end to change their password to make sure that that user that's no longer with the company does not have access to, for instance, see designs, submit designs, etc. And as well, if you're using individual access, it's going to give you access to all those other LotWorks communities, systems, and products. Just a kind of a better way to go about it in general. So that's not to say that shared accounts are banned or anything. They can still definitely be used, especially if that's what you're used to. It's just probably not the best way to go about using the system. And kind of the best practice is to use the LotWorks account as an individual account. Now, by now, most users have already created their account, so I won't spend too much time on this, but essentially, yeah, first step was just creating your account, setting up a new password, going through verifying your email address, and then signing in. One really good benefit of that, the LotWorks account system, is that you're not going to be kind of signed out all the time. It's going to kind of keep you logged in, so you always will have access to the systems. You can switch between them seamlessly and kind of go about your day the next morning without any issues. For password recovery and to reset passwords, we kind of already covered this. If you need to change your password, it's the exact same process. Just follow that password recovery step, and it's going to kind of go through and allow you to change that password to a new password. In terms of passwords themselves, the best practice is to definitely avoid password, admin, guest, user, 1234, birth dates, phone number extensions, family names, any common words kind of found in the dictionary. Those are typically things you want to avoid. Now, that's not to say that we want you to go some crazy complicated password with @ and exclamation marks and uppercase and lowercase and everything. Something that is actually a very good way to go about it is to string together a little short phrase that you yourself remember, maybe in conjunction with a couple numbers that are kind of important to you. So even if it's 1234 and then a couple words, for instance, correct horse battery staple. Really a brute force password cracker. Took about 3 days, and they would have been able to crack this password here, Troubadour. But it would take more than 550 years to crack something like correct horse battery staple, something that might be more easily memorable by yourself. So just a quick note there on password recommendations and best practice. So now that people have been using a LotWorks account for a month or so, we do, we would love to hear any feedback that you have on the system and how it's going for you. We do plan a number of improvements to the system and how it works. It's definitely something that we're committed to improving and working on and kind of making better all the time. It's a great new system for you and something that's going to be great in the long term as well. And we've got some construction going on here in the office, apparently. So if there are no questions, I'm going to cut it off at that point before you hear another buzz sawing through my wall here. And thank you very much. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.